Hey Mimos, look what I got. Look at all these tomatoes. This is just from this morning. I'm getting about this many every day. I don't know what to do with them all, but I have one plant that I picked this off of today. This is called an orange Russian. This is the first ripe one that I've been able to get off of it. It's one of those heirloom tomatoes. And I have another heirloom tomato plant that is still ripening, so I'm gonna have a lot of tomatoes on that. But look at this, I've got tons of these black cherry tomatoes. Those are really good. Lots of these, well, I got hundreds of these Sweet 100 tomatoes. These, I think, are my favorites. And then a bunch of these little guys, these little pear-shaped ones are really good. And then of course your standard, I don't even know what to do with them all. I'm really excited this year because this is really the best year I think I've ever had for tomatoes. I'll just sit at night while I'm watching TV and I'll just eat them. Oh, and if you saw yesterday's video and if you sat through the Audible spot, you'll have seen my tomato plants. They're huge. So are you enjoying sit month? That's what my son is calling this, sit month, because, and I just didn't realize it until a couple days ago that the last 4 projects I've made have been things to sit on. It started with I made the bar stool, okay, and then I went away for a week and had a shop tour. But then I came back, I made the Adirondack chair, and then this week I did the Viking chair, the 2-board chair, and then yesterday was the gardening stool. So I promise this Friday will end sit month. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've been enjoying reading all of the comments from yesterday's video, and I've got this new app. It's called the YouTube Creator app. If you guys post your own videos, download it. It's a free app, and finally you can control your channel through your phone, which is a lot better than it used to be, really clunky. But it makes it really easy for me to read comments. I always hear comments from people if I paint something pink. Let me set something straight. The color of that stool is not pink, it's Mesa Rose. And then there's a share of people who don't like rustic looking projects, you know. The way I figured is that wood was not really the best looking wood to begin with, so I knew I was going to paint it. So I thought, well, if it's an outdoor gardening project, it's gonna be all rough and scuffed up looking, so why not just get a start on that and do it now. And I gotta tell you, that was a lot of fun to do, to put the white paint, then the purple, and then the Mesa Rose paint on there and just scuff it up. I wanted to mention something about scrap lumber, by the way, because I've got a lot of scrap lumber. I've got way too much scrap lumber. Nobody needs that much scrap lumber. And I have a theory as to why so many of us accumulate all this excess wood. It's because when we are going to build a project, we make up a shopping list and we go to the store, we go to the Home Depot, and we buy the lumber that we need, but we always buy a little bit extra because we're gonna probably screw things up. And then when the project is done, we have this leftover lumber and we throw it in the lumber bin. And then what happens when we go to build our next project, we do the same thing. We go back to the store, we buy all new lumber for that, and we have leftover lumber, we put it in the scrap bin. Well, what happens is that wood in the scrap bin just never gets used because we're always buying new lumber. And in a way, it's just so wasteful not to use that. So I'm going to make a conscious effort on all my projects in the future. If it's going to be a painted project, first of all, I'm gonna first try to see what I can get out of my scrap bin and actually use some of that wood. At least that's what I'm gonna try to do, and try to save a little money. There's no reason why we need to keep buying so much wood. Oh, and I got a video I wanna recommend this week. It's from Drew over at Rockin' H Wood Shop, who made a bed for his planer this week. And it's one of the most common questions I get from people is how to eliminate snipe on your planer. When you run a board through your planer, the last inch or couple inches on both sides is just wasted because it cuts into it too much. And so what he did is he built this really nice sled that is, or not a sled, it's a I don't know what you call it, but it's a planer thing, it's a bed that it rides on and it eliminates that snipe. Don't forget, send in your I'm a Mimo from videos, post them online, and I can put those at the end of my videos. It's really been fun going through those. Well, it sounds like I got a lot of interest in the Mega Mimo meetup in North Carolina that'll be happening on September 13th. That's the Saturday of the Woodworking in America conference. So just right now I'm going through some of the venues near there. There's like some restaurants and some bars and that sort of thing. I'll try to figure out a place and get a hold of them and see if they mind a bunch of people. It sounds like, you know, there could be 30 or 40 of us there. That would be really fun to meet all of you. I hope you can make it. Oh, and I want to thank a viewer who sent me plans to a sewing cabinet, and I don't know who you are. You didn't include a note or anything, so let me know. But that was really cool. I really still want to make that sewing cabinet, so I'm glad to get some ideas for that. And whenever I see a sewing center, It reminds me of this old movie back in the 80s called Neighbors, and it was with Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. And I always remember Dan Aykroyd saying, "Oh, you mean the restaurant next to the Singer Sewing Center next to the Cinema Cineplex?" I probably totally got that wrong, but that's the way I remember it, and I remember it was very funny. You know what's playing at a theater near me next week? Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Next Sunday, I'm going to see that. I don't know if I've ever seen the Holy Grail at a theater. So that's going to be crazy. I have a feeling it's going to be like Rocky Horror Picture Show, where people in the audience are going to just be, you know, reciting all of the lines from that movie along with it and singing the songs. Knights of the Round Table. Well, thanks for watching this week's update. I hope to have an Ask Mimo this week. I was going to do it this week, but then I did the Viking chair instead because that was a really quick and easy project and I didn't have enough time to do the Ask Mimo. But I've got a lot of great Ask Mimo questions, so that should be happening this week, I think. I hope. We'll see.